Hello guys, hello friends, welcome to the channel wotreplays here in front of you. Today I will try to interpret the question of why wargaming does not listen to us, the community, the players. But first of all, I want to talk about something different. In my previous video I had microphone problems and nobody liked the AI voice I used. So you all preferred my own voice. Thank you for that, I really liked it. And by the way, I kindly ask you not to skip the previous video just because it's AI. I think the content is really very important and powerful. So let's go back to the topic and let's ask this question. Why wargaming does not listen to us? Why don't they care? Why don't they take suggestions and advice into consideration? Why don't they listen? What do you think? This question is really important and it closely affects what will happen about the future of the game and the future of our money and efforts we will spend. Let's look at the answer together. First of all, we all know that wargaming is a huge company, a company that has many employees, constantly releases innovations, make updates, bring adjustments, and organize everything. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people work in this company. In return, they offer a game. Sometimes they make money with premium days, sometimes with premium tags, and sometimes with in-game sales, what Pro or Gold. And this is normal, we all know and accept that there are things sold for money in this game, and we play accordingly. Also, such a big company surely has future-oriented plans like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, even 10-year plans and strategies. And we understand that too. Since we are customers who have been playing, consuming this game for years, of course we can notice and feel the problems in the game. For example, imagine you go to the same restaurant for years and eat there regularly. If the food is burnt, wouldn't you notice? If it's salty, wouldn't you notice? If it's expensive, wouldn't you feel it and understand that it is expensive? As players, we also naturally notice strange and unpleasant things in World of Tanks. We are no longer people who get angry for a moment and comment just because we lost 3 or 5 games. Wargaming needs to realize this. For a long time, maybe for years, there have been 4 main problems that everyone struggles with: MM, RNG, cheat, and OP premium tanks. Apart from these format problems, there are also many small problems, tolerable issues like map problems, tank balancing problems, class inequality problems. Don't worry, I won't explain all of them one by one. So while so many people talk about these issues in streams and videos, why doesn't wargaming solve them? Why or what are your thoughts and ideas about this topic, my friends? I want to hear your ideas. Write them in the comments. I read them all one by one. And don't forget to follow and like, because I really want to know what do you think about it. Why wargaming doesn't solve problems. The explanations I will make here are my personal opinions, but they are the results based on scientific explanations and experiments. Of course, we didn't conduct such an experiment on wargaming company or the game. And what I will say may sound a bit like conspiracy theory, but this is how I feel. This is how I think about this game anymore. I'm also curious about your opinions about that topic. Conspiracy theory, or is it maybe real? Let me list my explanations about why wargaming does not solve these chronic problems, based entirely on profit focus and a bit on game psychology. My first explanation: controlled frustration theory. According to this theory, the goal is not to make you constantly win or lose, but to make you lose in unexpected way or win in unexpected way. Either your whole team is weak and unskilled from the start and you lose 0 to 15 to 15, or you lose by a very small margin. The purpose is this: bad RNG, luck factor, and unfair matchmaking create a kind of gambling addiction loop by giving the player the feeling that the next match will definitely be better. A player who keeps losing becomes more inclined to spend money, thinking if I buy a better tank, I can break this bad luck. And my second theory about OP premium tanks: obsolescence and power inflation strategy. It is not a coincidence that Wargaming continuously releases stronger OP premium tanks instead of balancing old ones. The logic is this: if existing tanks are balanced, you have no reasonable reason to buy a new tank. The purpose is this: with what we call power creep, your old tanks are deliberately turned into trash. A player who wants to stay competitive feels forced to buy every new released premium tanks that has impenetrable armor or extremely high speed or good penetration values. This provides a constant and fresh cash flow. If every shoot you fired was perfectly accurate and every match was fair, your dopamine level would quickly reach saturation and you would get bored of the time. And let's talk about cheats and mod problems. Why wargaming doesn't solve this problem? Because I think it's gray zone and hidden incentive here. Cheats are not completely eliminated. The primary logic is this: if wargaming bans all cheaters, there would be a big decrease in player numbers, and therefore potential customers. Out of around 150k daily players, about 30k use cheats or mods. Banning them would mean losing 1/5 of the player base, and some of them also buy premium days, premium tanks, golds, and what plus. So why should they lose this fresh money? And the secondary logic is this: the line between cheats and mods is deliberately kept blurry. In this environment of uncertainty, players turn more towards in-game consumables, special ammos, and crew books. So in another language, in another word, they spend more money to survive against cheaters, because chaos always triggers spending. And the company also has some technical reasons for not resolving these issues. One of them is zero-sum game and mathematical deadlock. Making MM and RNG perfect could be the technical death warrant of the game. It could completely end it. The game is built on imbalance and structured that way. So my analysis is World of Tanks, by its nature, has a structure where one side must be crushed for the other to win. If MM makes everyone 100% equal, with players of their own level, every match would last 15 minutes and the result would always be 14 to 15, 15 to 15, always very close to each other. And there is a difficulty here. This situation creates mental fatigue in the player for fast consumption. Wargaming technically prefers matches to end with one side having a clear superiority, for example 15 to 3, because they want fast games. They have consciously coded MM this way. If they ensure fairness, the fun and speed factor of the game would die. So everyone would camp in the game. Everyone would wait for the right moment. So the game will be longer and longer. So problem is not actually a bug, but the working principle of the engine, the system of the game. And I want to talk about whale protection. Not balancing OP tank is a move to protect the financial backbone of the game. I think millions of people play this game for free, and Wargaming's main income comes from a small group called whales. They can spend thousands of dollars in one click to this game. If a player buy a tank for $50 or $100 with a dream of being invincible, and Wargaming weakens or nerfs that tank a week later for balance, they risk losing that loyal paying audience. A company caught between community pressure and the happiness of paying players will always have to choose money. That's why instead of fixing old tanks, they push the system upwards by releasing stronger new ones. So, those are my 5 main ideas about why Wargaming does not fix what they don't fix, my friends. For these reasons, wargaming does not fix the game. They don't do it consciously. Let's see where this situation will lead. So I ask you again, what are your different thoughts and ideas, my friends? I want to hear all of them. Write them in the comments. I read them all one by one. So please don't forget to follow and like. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you in the next one. Bye bye.